2 years of Biden, 1 in every 4 jobs created in America was a government job. That's a tremendous percentage. But under the first full month of President Trump, which we haven't even gotten started yet, an incredible 93% of all job gains were in the private sector. So that statistic just came out.
What's up, guys? I'm running a little late here.
For native-born Americans, for the first time in
Please
15
forgive
months,
me.
the job gains for native-born
So you're
Americans,
live,
for
we're
American
looking
people
live.
born in America, exceeded job gains for migrant and foreign-born workers. This is the first time that's happened in more than 15 months.
Checking out Trump's
Employment
stream,
for
but I
native-born
will
workers went up by 284,000.
just blend this play
while foreign-born workers
I
went
get
down
my
by
P's and Q's together
87,000.
here.
Now, you've heard the same stat where foreign workers were taking up all the jobs or almost all the jobs. In some cases, literally all of the jobs. And now it's 284,000 native-born jobs here, people born in our country, 284,000, while foreign-born workers went down by 87,000. First time that's happened in a long time. So these are incredible numbers, and they're very early. I mean, we're here for 5 weeks.
All right, I'm just gonna
we have been talking about it
tweets,
since the big
then
win in,
live. Let
November,
the homies know I'm
November 5th.
live.
So a lot of these people, they listen to us speak and they say, well, I'm going to
We'll get
gear up,
into
and they're
some
gearing
stuff.
up, and so they've been gearing up. They've had a little time. It's not just 5 weeks. It's 5 weeks plus a few months, and they put it into effect pretty quickly. They have confidence that
Title is question mark number 6
So with
question
that, I'd
mark.
like to ask
I'm not really sure what I'm going to talk about.
respected gentleman, Kevin Hassett. He's
The
been with us for a long
hour
time,
snuck up on me.
and he's been right about a lot. We had
It's,
the greatest
you know,
economy in history in the first
Streaming
term.
every day.
And Kevin was a big part of it. So Kevin, could you maybe give it a little
Today's a
description?
fast day.
Yeah, thank you very
Happy
much, Mr. Trump. I think that the 3 things that you emphasized during the campaign
Friday
is
of
that you wanted
Lent.
to create domestic
You're all
high-paying
fasting.
manufacturing jobs, that you wanted to end wasteful government spending and reduce the unproductive government workers, and in fact unleash them into the private economy where they could be more productive, and to create jobs for Americans. A lot of people said that if you deported illegals, that employment would go down.
just
because no
watching-
Americans would take those jobs. And if you look, 280,000
See what it says.
American-born folks were hired. Manufacturing jobs are going up. And this is just out of the expectation of your future policies, really, sir. It's in April when your Reciprocal Trade Act is expected to happen. The tax cuts haven't passed yet. And so people are clearly expecting the golden age. And if you want to forecast the future numbers, everybody, just keep in mind that President Trump has already gotten us $1.7 trillion in commitments of new factories. And those haven't even happened yet. Those aren't even in the numbers. And so I expect this is going to be a glimpse of a golden age to come, sir.
Golden Age is such a good
Thank you very
rhetoric.
much. One other
Especially if
thing,
they can really
Canada,
come through with
we
it, but-
find that they're charging us over 200% for dairy products. You know about that. And when I left, we had that well taken care of, but under Biden, they just kept raising it. Very difficult to deal with the Canadian representatives. 250% for dairy products, tariff. So where do you hear that? You don't hear that. They have a tremendously high
there's probably
tariff.
terrible
I'll
echo.
give you the exact numbers in a little while coming out.
Hold up.
On lumber. So they sell this number. They have a tremendous tariff. They make it impossible for us to sell lumber or dairy products into Canada, but our numbers are a tiny fraction of that, almost non-existent. And what we're doing is freeing up our forests from the environmental nonsense that they put on them, where you can't cut down a tree. And we have to cut down trees in order to build the firewalls. And those
There we
trees
go.
are sold. But we're
Sorry about
we're
that,
freeing it
guys.
up on an
I had the
emergency basis.
Bluetooth headphones
Because,
on, but
Canada
they were
has
connected to
been
my
ripping
phone
us
and
off
not
for
the
years
computer. So
on
you guys would have been
tariffs
getting
for
that
lumber
feedback.
and for dairy products.
All
250%. Nobody ever talks about that. 250%
Okay,
tariff, which is taking
let me
advantage of our farmers. So that's not going to happen anymore.
pause this real
They'll
quick.
be met with the exact same tariff unless they drop it. And that's what.
Hey everybody, my name is Alex and welcome to The Broth, the most fun, serious show on the internet. We're here live in the Cauldron. And today we're going to be hanging out. I'm not sure exactly what we'll get into. I've got a couple things saved. I finally caught up on sleep last night. I slept in. had some things I had to take care of between waking up and this, and so we're just gonna wing it. It's gonna be fun. There's plenty of stuff going on. You know what I think we might do first is just see what's trending on Twitter, on X, and get into that. We could also watch more of this. It's 30 minutes, and you know, sometimes I don't have a lot to add. You know, so you guys could watch that on your own. Trump has been putting out so much media, and I've pretty much kept up on everything. I might have missed like one or two things, but I've been trying to watch everything that he does in terms of, making a statement, delivering remarks, taking questions, and it's been fun. I've always followed politics. I've had periods of dedicating a lot of time, but I'm trying to take it up to a new level in part for you guys. So yeah, let's check out what's trending right now. This guy. What's the point? It doesn't even have the full. Oh, denies consideration of Derek Chauvin pardon. That would be the right thing to do, in my opinion. That was, or maybe he could be retried or something, but that was clearly not a fair trial. That was a strange period in America. And, it's like it was very communist-like way of doing things. But optically, no, he should not just pardon Chauvin right now. That would be an error. Reform UK suspends MP amid bullying and threat allegations. I don't know. We're in America here. This is an America First show. South Africa's ownership laws versus Elon Musk's Starlink. Yeah, so I saw this. I am interested in some foreign news, and Musk is obviously involved in American news. But I saw this, and apparently because Elon Musk is white, they cannot use Starlink there because Starlink. South Africa is now. They took two steps in the wrong direction. One is they're now more racist than they were under apartheid, and two, they're no longer white people in the driver's seat, and white people are particularly good at creating functional systems, building infrastructure, and that sort of thing. So, yeah, not good what's going on there. Now, I talked with a lawyer. I have a lawyer friend, and I called him on Elon Musk's behalf. I thought he maybe could use some legal help because this doesn't seem right. And my lawyer told me that this guy, that he may actually be eligible for honorary status. And so, Elon, please look into Section 8, Item 420. It is the baby mama clause. So that might be helpful to you. I'm glad we're not calling it reverse racism anymore. Remember that? This is... What a dark time. It doesn't feel good to be leaving it. Trump weighs redeployment of U.S. troops from Germany to Hungary. Okay. Well, the Hungarian government is certainly much more aligned with Trump's policies and vision. Trump Jr. denies 2028 speculation. Yeah, we don't need you, bro. You're okay. We love your dad. Missouri wins $24 billion from China land ownership debate. Interesting. Hey, China, yo, Missouri, $24 billion. I just won a judgment in court. Pay up, or we start seizing assets in farmland. Interesting. Who's this guy? Yeah, I hope they don't pay because China should not own our farmland. Let's see. They now have Grok built in where you can summon it by putting its at. So people are using the heck out of it right now. It's pretty exciting. The legal case, Missouri versus China, stems from a 2020 lawsuit by Attorney General Andrew Bailey, accusing China of hoarding personal protective equipment during the COVID-19 pandemic, exacerbating the crisis. Interesting. The legal case, Missouri seeks $24 billion in damages, and a default judgment was recently won due to China's non-appearance in court. How much land does China own in the U.S.? Grok has not gotten around to responding. I bet you, I don't know. Interesting. What PPE was withheld? Maybe Grok doesn't keep answering follow-ups. I don't know. Okay, here we go. Grok, how much farmland does China own in Missouri? Chinese entities own 42,596 acres of farmland in Missouri, the most of any foreign country. And it represents 0.4% of Missouri's total 27 million acres of farmland. I mean, they shouldn't own any. How about none? How about China doesn't own America at all? Now, I know there are things where in foreign countries invest in other countries, and that could be fine. We don't need to be total like isolationists or anything, but how about not our land, not the land? You want some of our blood too? Get the heck out of here. Alrighty. Poland's military expansion among I can't even talk. Among security concerns. Poland announces that all adult men will be called to undergo military training. What's going on? Well, Poland is right in the middle of anything that happens. So probably good for them to be prepared. But they also did play a role in creating World War II conditions. So I don't know. Interesting. I guess I have to look at what's trending in the U.S. Polish Prime Minister, but let's learn more about Poland. We plan to introduce a mechanism so that by the end of the year, every adult male will be trained in case of war. I mean, I do think it's a good idea for all adult males to have some sort of training. I think that not like obligated service, but certainly like optional free training would be a huge bonus. I mean, that would be something. I'm 40 years old, but I would do that. Like if I could just go and for free have the United States military train me for 2 weeks or something, I would 100% do that. That would be amazing. Wouldn't it be amazing? Doesn't mean you have to go. I would be looking very carefully on whatever whatever I'd be signing. But I don't know. It's interesting. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem announces 2 alleged leakers in DHS have been caught exposing ICE raids and are facing prosecution. They face 10 years in federal prison. We'll find all leakers. They will face prison. We will get justice. Good. 2 people within DHS have been identified for leaking intel on ICE raids. They will now be referred to the Department of Justice for prosecution. Find all the traitors. Department of Justice puts prosecutors on leave amid high-profile cases. Department of Justice just put 3 federal prosecutors in New York on leave. This includes one who prosecuted Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's manager. It's probably a positive. Like, hey, you might have been protecting these people in the past, so sit this one out. Hopefully more would happen. Everybody wants more to happen. Me too. Breaking, Attorney General Pam Bondi's Department of Justice put 3 federal prosecutors in New York on leave, one of which prosecuted Ghislaine Maxwell. What's going on? Now, wasn't one of those prosecutors James Comey's daughter? Yes. Yeah, this could be good or bad. I mean, everybody's watching, so it's gonna be hard for them to get away with much of anything. I mean, I guess it depends on if you think Trump would want to protect this list and the people involved, or if Trump wants to go after those people. And I feel very strongly that the second one is true. And I feel like that's sort of the dividing line on how you look at all of this, because I see it as like, I don't know who Bondi is. I don't trust her by any means. She hasn't earned my trust, but Trump has. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. I did get some texts from the homies of just interesting stuff going on. We can look at that. I'm in a group chat, and it always splits us into two. There's two group chats. It's annoying. All right, can you see that? Yeah. Zoom out a little bit. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, my friend sent me this. Breaking Federal Reserve's Vice Chair for Supervision, Michael Barr, has resigned ahead of expected audit by Doge. So this is suggesting that we are actually expecting an audit of the Federal Reserve now. This is past talk. So let's freaking go. No chance that they pass an audit. They've never been audited. The people who print money have never been audited. So how do you not abuse that? Like, hey, on one hand, I could put $1 trillion I could launder $1 trillion into me having it, all the money in the world, basically, and probably get away with it. On the other hand, that would be wrong. I don't know. I mean, is it more complicated than that? Doesn't seem like it is. Okay. Wait, do I have any other stuff? I got fooled by a account. I think a lot of people are fooled by this. Yeah, I'm following. I gotta unfollow. I thought this was really Louis C.K. talking about Ian Carroll and the Groypers. And I thought it was him because it says Louis K.C., but it's not Louis C.K. And this has been around since January 2012. And to me, I was like, oh, well, then it's him, plus 179K followers, because who would pretend to be somebody else on the internet for 13 years? But I guess someone would, because I looked into it. Plus, I looked at the following, and it's like Bill Burr, Shane Gillis, Tom Green, Tim Dillon, Kurt Metzger. Like, these are the people you'd expect him to follow. But apparently he deleted his account like a few years ago and had a few million or over 1 million followers. So, yeah, you got to be careful of this blue check mark, man. I think that was like, I don't know, maybe they had to do this to survive financially when Elon did this, but like spoof accounts should not be allowed to get check marks. If I was Louis C.K., I'd be kind of pissed. Okay, let's see. Well, we'll get in the rhythm here. What else is going on? Yeah, forgive me for being a little unprepared today, but we're going to get in the swing of things and it will become fun. And besides, I don't have any live viewers currently. So, wait, I do have one. Holla. Right on. Well, let me get my feet together here. All right, let's do this. Wait, how do I do that? News, trending. I don't ever really use this part of Twitter, but let's see. Yeah, Dean Hackman died days ago. Trump administration cuts $400 million funding to Columbia University over anti-Semitism issues. Okay, so I have mixed feelings about this. Let's talk about this because a lot of people are saying, this is that Trump is has sort of more extreme special boy status for Jewish people than we've ever seen, and I'll say I'm definitely opposed to Jewish people having special boy status. I don't think anyone should. And honestly, I think if anyone should have special boy status in the United States, it should work basically the opposite of what it's been working, where if your family is descended from the people who built this country, then that should be rewarded rather than penalized. But I don't think it really needs to be any reward because those people tend to be good at doing stuff. So if you just have a level playing field, they do as good as anybody would feel the need to do. So that's sort of my take on that. Now, I think that Trump, here's the thing. Super anti-Semitic stuff in universities has like a 1-to-1 ratio with wokeness and super leftism, communism, and stuff like that. I feel like that's something that people are missing. It's kind of a weird way to go about it, and maybe I'm, in my views, am off, and Trump is like spiritually Jewish or whatever. But there's these universities are indoctrination centers to turn young people into little woke leftists, and it did that to me. And I was in anthropology, which should be like the most based thing ever. But the reason that there's quote unquote anti-Semitism on these campuses is because it's anti-colonialist and anti-white. That's where this is coming from. And the reason that these, young people really care about injustice, which is a good thing, but they're also really easily weaponized. They're caring about injustice is very easily weaponized. And the thing that's what it is they've been indoctrinated against white people and against so-called colonialism. And then that has been, because of the Gaza genocide, has been directed at so-called Jews, but it really isn't Jews. It's Zionists. So, and the more that's happened, the more these places, given in university, the more anti-Israel sentiment there is. It's corresponded not to these people are based. It's the opposite. It's these people are super anti-white and anti-colonial. So I'm not, it sounds bad. Maybe it will be bad, but in effect, the effect of this is that the most woke anti-white universities in the country are losing funding. And I feel similarly to revoking visas of people who are here on student visas is on one hand, first of all, you can't get me to be concerned about the free speech rights of non-Americans who happen to be here. Apparently that mainly applies, you mainly have free speech if you're here on a visa. I don't think I'm for that. I don't know. I mean, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights is for Americans. So firstly, you're not going to get me excited about protecting free speech for foreigners on American soil. You're not going to get me excited about fighting for foreigners getting kicked off of our soil for any reason. Now, maybe this is the wrong reason, but I would say, again, the same thing applies here, where if somebody is a foreigner and they're super anti-Israel and they're on the left, they're super anti-Israel because they're indoctrinated into this super anti-white, anti-colonialist view. So, like, yes, I want American college students to be able to, like, not feel afraid to voice their opinions and their criticisms on the state of Israel or Jewish power or any of that stuff. On the other hand, the net effect would be getting rid of people who are anti-American. Now, I share the concern about the rhetoric and the angle. Like, why not just say anti-American? Why do we care about anti-Semitism, but we don't care about anti-whiteness? Or at least, why are we talking that way? So, I think this is an important question. But I feel like the frame that I just gave it is really important. All right, we talked about Missouri. Syria's minorities face new threat from Islamist factions. Yeah, I mean, these are Christians. They're killing Christians in Syria. And Assad was protecting the Christians. And it's funny how over and over again, America gets involved somewhere and the Christians there suffer when we really should be, if we're going to have a presence in the world, stay outside of our borders and for a reason other than our direct economic or soft power benefits, I would think protecting Christians would be kind of the one area. I mean, that would be the one area that I would be for it. First U.S. firing squad execution in 15 years carried out. That's interesting. South Carolina. I don't know why we got rid of it. I would rather be firing squadded than electric chaired or lethal injection. Lethal injection is kind of like the scariest one. Apparently, it really freaking hurts, and people do it wrong, and sometimes it like really hurts. And it's just the whole thing is weird. Like, dude, just get 8 people to shoot me. I mean, I don't want to be executed, but what'd he do? Murder? Yeah, all right. Elon Musk's authority questioned in cabinet clash. Is this a real thing, or is this... I think this is just the media trying to stir stuff up. Yeah, they're just accusing him of overstepping, and Trump is clarifying that he's not in charge of the things that they're accusing him of doing. Congressman Al Green, let's get it on, censored amid healthcare debate. Tell people talk about, is this the biggest downgrade ever? How about singer Al Green to this Al Green? This guy's just speaking out of turn everywhere he goes, I guess. Trump considers sanctions to push Russia for Ukraine peace. Sounds good to me. Hey, you know how you guys have sanctions? Do you want more sanctions or do you want less sanctions? Bill Nye's throwing up Romans.
Science. Science.
Hail science. Hail science. Trudeau's emotional farewell. Trudeau's crying. Bye. Bye, governor. This guy, Canadians are so out of touch, man. It's incredible. This guy was like, good luck finding potash. Because apparently we import like 67% or something of our potash, which is essential for American agriculture. However, we have a source of potash that could be used more. And there's also other sources in the world for potash. But most importantly, while it seems like maybe we do rely on Canadian potash and that is an important thing for us, the amount of things that Canada relies on us for, the list is quite a bit longer. So I feel like we're going to work something out, and I feel like we're going to be the ones that get what we want here. You don't have the cards, okay? Yep, you're gambling with potash and statehood. World War II bomb discovery halts Paris, London trains. They dropped so many bombs, they're still finding them. Trump's logging order, economic boost or environmental risk. I mean, we have so... I live in wooded forest, and there's a lot of logging where I live, and I drive by a place where they process the raw lumber, and the raw lumber, and there's always a tremendous amount of it, and you almost can never tell that they're cutting any trees. Like the tree situation where I live it's relentless. The trees just keep coming. So I guess there's a risk of overdoing it. There always is, but I think we could definitely do more. I used to be, the lefty environmentalists who know nothing about anything are like one tree cut down and they're crying. They care. It's that chart. What is it? Loyalty graph. Or it's more empathy than loyalty, isn't it? The heat map. This. Heat map indicating highest moral allocation by ideology. Source data, blah, blah, blah. The highest value on the heat map scale is 20 units for liberals, 12 units for conservatives. Moral circle rings inner to outer is described as follows. 1, that's the inner circle, your immediate family. 2, all your extended family. 3, your closest friends. 4, all your friends. 5, all your acquaintances. 6, all the people you've ever met. 7, all the people in your country. 8, all the people in your continent. 9, all the people on all continents. 10, mammals. 11, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, fish, and birds. 12, all animals on Earth, including paramecia and amoeba. 13, all animals in the universe, including aliens. 14, all living things in the universe, including plants and trees. 15, all natural things in the universe, including inert entities such as rocks. 16, all things in existence. Now, the conservatives care most. You can see it's basically from your immediate family out 1, 2, 3 layers are in the red. So family, extended family, and all your friends. Liberals heat map, I'm in the way. Sorry about that. Is way out here where we're getting close to like rocks. I'm going to save this image. And we're going to ask Grok to interpret it. The image you provided, they're going to give me 15 paragraphs, aren't they? No, not that bad. Okay. Appears to pair a 2D density plots or heat maps, one labeled as conservatives, the other as liberals. These plots likely to represent the distribution of data points along 2 axes, with the color gradient indicating the density of points, blue for low, red for high. The concentric circles suggest a radial distance from the origin, possibly indicating a measure or deviation or spread from the central point. Both have color scale, concentric circles. The conservative plot. The density is elongated horizontally with a high concentration red near the center that stretches out toward the right. This suggests that conservative data points are more spread out along one axis, possibly specific ideological or behavioral trait compared to the others. Liberals, the density is more compact near the center but extends outward in different directions with significant concentration in an off-center region. This indicates that liberals' data points are clustered more tightly around a central value but have a notable secondary peak or spread in a distinct direction. The two groups show different patterns of distribution. Okay, it's focusing on that the liberals are a larger blob. Does it have the... Oh. I need to give it the explanation. It didn't have access to this. Let's see. Here is an explanation, conclusions, and share. Okay, so it's a recap. We'll skip that. Explaining the analysis of heat map. The heat map for conservatives shows a high concentration near the center. The central concentration suggests that conservatives tend to allocate the highest moral value to the inner rings, family, extended family, closest friends. The elongated spread indicates that while their moral action is strongest for close relationships, it extends to outer rings, acquaintances, people in their country, possibly broader categories like people in their continent, but with decreasing intensity. Now, I would say that would be a healthy way to look at the world. Liberals. Secondary peak. I mean, I'm not really getting... It seems like there's one peak. I don't know. Red peaking at 20 units, extending upwards to the right. The concentration suggests that liberals also allocate high moral value to the inner rings. I'm not seeing that. There's no red in the middle. I'll ask it to follow up on that. Core moral focus is similar but differs in scope. Yeah, let me just ask that. I'm confused by your findings because on the liberal side there is no red other than in the top right. Yeah, they would just be getting stuff wrong. Reevaluation for the liberal... God, I can't talk. I will get better at talking, I promise. Reevaluation of the liberal heat map. Observation. The highest density is located on the top right, indicating that peak moral allocation for liberals is not centered around inner rings, for example, immediate family, but rather shifted towards the outer rings of the moral circle. All people in all continents, all mammals, but all the way to existence of all things. I mean, this is just wild. Liberals assign their highest moral value to the outer rings of the moral circle, such as all people on all continents, all animals, all living things, or even all things in existence. The lower density in the center shows that while liberals still assign some moral value to the inner rings, this allocation is less intense for their concern for broader universal entities. Okay, let's see. Briefly evaluate each group's moral values according to what would be viewed as a healthy outlook. Healthy aspects for conservatives: prioritizing family and close relationships aligns with psychological research that emphasizes the importance of secure, intimate connections for emotional stability and well-being. Community focus: extending some moral value to acquaintances and people in their country suggests a sense of local responsibility. Liberals: healthy aspects. It's talking about something healthy about the intrinsic worth of all life, but they're caring about things that aren't alive. Neglect of potential concerns: neglect of close relationships. Liberals may under-prioritize family and friends, which could strain personal relationships and lead to emotional disconnection or isolation. I mean, I think we're seeing that. Strong personal bonds are crucial for mental health. Neglecting them might cause burnout or feelings of alienation. Overextension: extending intense moral concerns to abstract entities like rocks might dilute focus and resources, leading to impracticability or moral fatigue. It could also make it harder to address immediate tangible needs in their own lives or communities. Is it fair to say that conservatives, let's say this: what are we to make of then their family members? Universalist worldview. I mean, that's pretty extreme. De-emphasis on traditional hierarchies. I mean, this is what it's about, right? They've been brainwashed, programmed against traditional hierarchies, which is the foundation of like civilization. Saying I might be exaggerating. Okay, I mean, if I'm exaggerating a little, though, still, right? Yeah, so anyway, that's freaking wild. How do we get there? I was talking about lumber. What? Bomb discovery. This lady wore braids and people are mad at her. Let's see. How long have Europeans been braiding their hair? How long have they been? You know what cornrows are also called? A French braid? Doing a French braid. So let's see, 25 to 30,000 years. How long a French braid? Well, the term is from at least 1871. So, shut up, maybe? U.S. jobs report native-born gain over foreign-born in employment. Well, that seems good. You know, jobs for Americans. America. America, man, land of the free, home of the brave, man. French fries, potato chips. This is America, Jack. Egg price surge sparks Justice Department inquiry. Yeah, look into that. Ooh, Justice Department inquiry, though. How do I open a new tab? So, like, maybe there's a criminal action going on? I mean, there was definitely, I think it was criminal, how, like, they murdered all of the chickens for political reasons. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. It looks like that to me. Joe Rogan podcast episode ignites debate on conspiracy theories. Indeed. Our guy, Ian. Please, Kamala, run for California governor. That would be just fantastic. Rachel Maddow, how is she? She doesn't know anything about crypto, I don't think. All right, and let's see. Can I do trending by? Yeah, this is true. A strange part of the whole Jewish infiltration and manipulation of the United States is that some Jews call you insane and that it's a bullshit lie, and others say it boldly and proudly. Fascinating. Here's Harold Wallace Rosenthal. He says, "We Jews have put issue upon issue to the American people. Then we promote both sides of the issue as confusion reigns. With their eyes fixed on the issues, they fail to see who's behind every scene. We Jews toy with the American public as a cat toys with a mouse." But, you know, their feelings are super important, so we've sent $30 trillion of money and military equipment to Israel since 1948. Well, okay. Good times. Probably going to be a shorter stream today. We're 15 minutes in. I'll go to at least an hour. I got a couple things saved in my notes. Williamson. We need
Tertullian said,
this type of honesty in leadership. Tell me if you agree.
that Catholic faith and Jewish power are like the two pans of a pair of scales. As Catholic faith goes up, Jewish power goes down. As Catholic faith goes down, Jewish power goes up. Because the Jews have always been, from the time that they crucified our Lord Jesus Christ, they have always been enemies of the Catholic Church. They have always known, they've always treated the Catholic Church as their number one enemy. And the communists the same. They know that the Catholic Church is their one enemy. The New World Order knows that their real enemy is the Catholic Church. And ever since Vatican II, the Church has been on its back, on the canvas, out for the count of 6, 7, 8, 9. The enemies of the Church think the Church is finished. It isn't. The Church will be back on its feet because God doesn't want the Church to be wiped out. And God won't allow it to be wiped out.
True.
But the enemies of God, Jews, communists, Freemasons, you name them, the enemies of God don't take God into account. They don't realize who he is, or they take him into account, but they're still determined to fight him to the death, which is what they're doing. Therefore, and God allows that. God knew from eternity that's how it would be, and God allowed for that. If you want to train a good boxer, you're going to give him good sparring partners and not bad sparring partners. If you want to train people to go to heaven, you give them a good fight while they're here on the earth and not a silly, sloppy fight. And the good fight comes from mainly the Jews, because the Jews fight against God. They're clever. God made them clever. They're clever, they're gifted, they're determined, they're resolute, they're motivated. And ever since the church began, they've been fighting the church. Therefore, and it's God who allows that for the purpose of making good Catholics. Therefore, if you want to slow down Jewish power, what God allows that power for is to show Catholics how much they're going to suffer if they don't have the faith. Therefore, the real way to slow down Jewish power is to restore the Catholic faith. And it's because
Believe,
Vatican
go to
II
Mass,
so undermined the Catholic faith all over the world.
receive
and
the
deeply,
Eucharist.
that the Jewish power has been unleashed ever since.
It's going to put some quotes. Let's see. Here's Pope Innocent. Lord made Cain a wanderer and a fugitive over the earth, but set a mark upon him, lest anyone finding him might slay him. Thus the Jews against whom the blood of Christ calls out, although they ought not be killed, nevertheless as wanderers they must remain upon the earth until their faces be filled with shame and they seek the name of Jesus Christ the Lord. This is a pope. Now, we're getting to the point where the Jewish people would like this aspect of Christianity to be not allowed. They want this type of thing. What the bishop said, what this says, what parts of the Bible say, that to be labeled as hate speech and to be outlawed. And so, we're not looking for a fight here. This isn't about hating anybody or blaming people for things that they aren't responsible for, or collective punishment or anything like that. At a certain point, it's becoming preserving our faith, and and there's aspects where it's also about preserving our people, our survival. St. Alphonsus Maria Liguori here, I'll let you read this. there is it's all spiritual. It's all spiritual. It's all the spiritual orientation towards or away from God, who lived and suffered and died and was resurrected on earth. Yeah. Might be a good place to end. Yeah, I'm not going to put that. I'm not going to go to that next one. I'm really only at, I'm at 55 minutes, so I got some stuff to do. Well, we're in we're in a time period of having to have a difficult conversation that has been suppressed. It's been avoided for decades, and we need to talk about this stuff again. The West needs to reconcile with the fact that we've been taught to hate ourselves, our history, our legacy, and that a lot of the things that we've been taught to hate about it is actually what made us strong. And we can treat the Christian, and particularly the Catholic, view of all of this. They've been dealing with these issues for a very long time, and there is understanding here of how to treat everybody with dignity, with love, while also protecting our faith, protecting our people. And we have to stop calling what is evil good and what is good evil. And it can be scary, because and a lot of the fear comes from a certain narrative of a certain time period, and we have to be open to maybe taking a second look at that. And I don't mean to be super cryptic, but I do want to stay on YouTube, and I do want to be prepared for the idea of family members of mine, including Jewish family members, finding my channel, which is pretty inevitable. Listen, we Christians love our faith. We Westerners, we Caucasians love our people and our history, and the time of putting the concerns of a different group of people over our own is coming to a close. And, we all just need to have faith in God, and, and be not afraid, and pray every day for wisdom and understanding, and for the conversion of all souls to Christ, and for God's mercy for everyone. We don't want, it's not about vindictiveness. We don't want to be vindictive. We want everyone to find the truth, and we want to see them in heaven after they turn to Christ and repent for their sins, and that includes all of us. So thank you for joining me. God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow.